The massive starship USS Horizon hummed with quiet anticipation as it prepared for its most ambitious deep space mission. Captain June Park, a seasoned space explorer with piercing dark eyes and a calm demeanor, stood on the bridge watching the final pre-launch preparations. Around him, a diverse crew of 500 specialists moved with practiced efficiency, their movements synchronized like a complex dance. The ship represented humanity's most advanced deep space exploration vessel, a technological marvel that combined cutting-edge engineering with years of scientific research. Its sleek exterior concealed systems that pushed the boundaries of human technological understanding. Solar panels gleamed along its hull, and quantum communication arrays bristled with potential, ready to transmit data across unimaginable distances. Hannah Kim, the chief science officer, reviewed the mission parameters one last time. Her fingers danced across holographic displays, checking and rechecking every system. She was known for her meticulous approach, a trait that had earned her respect among her colleagues and top military brass alike. The mission objective was simple yet incredibly complex: explore uncharted regions beyond known human space, map potential resource-rich star systems, and gather critical data about galactic structures. The crew represented the best humanity could offer. Engineers, physicists, medical professionals, and exploration specialists had been carefully selected over years of rigorous testing. Each member brought unique skills and perspectives, united by a common dream of pushing human knowledge beyond its current limitations. As launch time approached, a sense of excitement mixed with nervous tension filled the ship's corridors. Young technicians whispered to each other, their eyes bright with the promise of adventure. Veteran space travelers maintained their professional composure, but even they couldn't completely hide their anticipation. Captain Park's voice cut through the background noise. Final system check complete. All departments report ready for departure. His tone was calm, almost routine, but those who knew him understood the depth of emotion behind those words. This mission represented years of preparation, millions of dollars in research, and the collective hopes of an entire planet. The ship's massive fusion engines began to warm up, their low rumble vibrating through the deck plates. Outside the reinforced viewing ports, Earth looked small and fragile, a blue-green marble suspended in the infinite darkness of space. Automated systems ran through their complex sequences, each check and balance a testament to human engineering prowess. Hannah Kim approached Captain Park, her tablet displaying final trajectory calculations. All parameters are within acceptable ranges, she reported. Her voice carried a mixture of professional detachment and underlying excitement. The proposed route would take them further than any human expedition had ever traveled, into regions of space that existed only as theoretical possibilities in scientific models. Suddenly, an unusual energy reading flickered across the ship's sensors. Most of the crew didn't notice, but Hannah's trained eye caught the anomalous signal. She frowned, zooming in on the data, trying to understand the strange quantum fluctuation that had just appeared at the edge of their scanning range. "Captain," she said, her voice carrying a hint of uncertainty, "we're detecting an unusual energy signature." Park turned, his experienced gaze sweeping the display. Years of space exploration had taught him to trust his science officer's instincts. "Analyze and report," he commanded, his hand unconsciously brushing the communication panel. The ship continued its final preparation, unaware that something extraordinary was about to happen. The mysterious energy signature grew stronger, its patterns defying known physical laws. Outside, space itself seemed to shimmer and distort around the USS Horizon. In those moments before departure, no one could have predicted the incredible journey that awaited them. No one could have imagined the transformative experience that would turn this routine exploration mission into humanity's most significant space adventure. The fusion engines reached maximum readiness. Launch was imminent. Humanity held its collective breath, watching and waiting as the USS Horizon prepared to venture into the unknown. 37 years after its mysterious disappearance, the USS Horizon materialized at the edge of the solar system. Space traffic control stations erupted into immediate chaos. Radar systems, computer networks, and communication channels suddenly blazed with urgent signals and confused chatter. The ship looked pristine, as if it had just left Earth's shipyards. No signs of damage, no indication of the decades that had passed. Its hull gleamed under the distant sunlight, reflecting a perfection that defied logical explanation. Military and scientific teams scrambled to understand the impossible event unfolding before their eyes. Orbital monitoring stations locked their sensors onto the returned vessel. Thousands of technicians watched in stunned silence as the ship maintained a steady, calm position. No distress signals. No request for assistance. Just absolute, eerie silence. Inside the command center at Earth Space Operations, Director Lee watched the live feeds. His hands gripped the edge of the control panel, knuckles turning white. Decades of waiting, years of speculation, countless investigations, and now the horizon had simply returned. Attempt communication, he ordered the communication team. Radio operators tried multiple frequencies. Standard protocols. Emergency channels. Encrypted military bands. For hours, nothing but static answered their calls. Then, precisely at 14:37 Universal Time, a transmission cut through. "We have returned. Everything has changed." The voice was calm. Clear. Familiar. It belonged to Captain June Park, the same man who had disappeared with the ship 37 years earlier. But something in the tone suggested profound transformation. Satellite imagery showed no external modifications to the ship. Yet something felt different. The way it held position. The subtle energy readings that danced around its hull. Something fundamental had shifted. Military commanders demanded immediate boarding protocols. Scientific teams prepared extensive scanning equipment. Psychological evaluation units assembled specialized investigation teams. Everyone wanted answers. But the horizon seemed to wait. Patient. Unmoved. Holding secrets close. Ground control continued attempts to establish direct communication. Each attempt was met with calculated silence. The ship remained a silent sentinel, watching, waiting. Rumors began to spread. Conspiracy theories erupted across global communication networks. Some claimed alien intervention. Others suggested a massive government experiment. A few believed the crew had discovered something beyond human comprehension. Director Lee understood something profound was happening. The horizon's return was not just a mystery, it represented a potential turning point for human civilization. As night fell across global monitoring stations, the ship remained motionless. No propulsion signatures. No energy fluctuations. Just perfect, absolute stillness. Scientists analyzed initial sensor data. The ship's systems appeared fully operational. Internal environmental conditions suggested normal living parameters. But no movement. No signs of life beyond that single, cryptic transmission. Military satellites maintained constant surveillance. Fighter squadrons remained on high alert. Every possible scenario was being considered, every potential threat evaluated. The world watched and waited. Hours turned into days. The horizon maintained its position, a silent promise of revelations to come. Something had changed. Something fundamental about human understanding of space, time, and technological possibility. Captain Park's transmission continued to echo through communication channels. "We have returned. Everything has changed." Those simple words carried weight. Promise. Threat. Hope. Fear. Humanity stood at the precipice of a new understanding. The USS Horizon had returned. And nothing would ever be the same again. In research laboratories, military bunkers, and living rooms across the planet, people asked the same question: what happened during those missing 37 years? What secrets did the ship and its crew bring back from the depths of unknown space? The answers would change everything. The first glimpses of the horizon's impossible technology emerged during initial scientific examinations. Dr. Hannah Kim, leading the investigation team, discovered systems that defied every known principle of physics and engineering. Quantum generators aboard the ship produced energy outputs that made traditional nuclear reactors look like children's toys. A single compact unit could power entire cities for decades without any observable fuel consumption. The energy was clean, stable, and generated through processes no Earth scientist could initially comprehend. Gravitational manipulators represented another breakthrough. These systems could bend spacetime with such precision that they made current transportation technologies seem primitive. Researchers watched in disbelief as small test objects moved through solid materials, warped across distances, and manipulated spatial dimensions like malleable clay. Captain Park and his crew remained somewhat mysterious. They appeared unchanged, showing no signs of aging despite the 37-year gap. Medical scans revealed cellular structures that seemed to exist in a state of perpetual renewal. Their bodies demonstrated remarkable resilience and regenerative capabilities far beyond human understanding. During a classified briefing, Captain Park revealed fragments of their extraordinary journey. He spoke of an encounter with an ancient civilization, beings that existed between dimensional planes. These entities had shared knowledge that fundamentally challenged human perception of reality. What we learned, Park explained, was that our understanding of physics is like a child's drawing compared to a masterpiece. The technological transformations were not just theoretical. Within weeks, research teams began adapting recovered technologies. Fusion reactors became exponentially more efficient. Communication networks achieved quantum entanglement, allowing instantaneous data transfer across impossible distances. Global technological infrastructure started changing rapidly. Prototype spacecraft incorporating Horizon's technologies could potentially traverse entire star systems in weeks instead of decades. Energy production methods promised to solve climate and resource challenges that had plagued humanity for generations. Military strategists quickly recognized the profound geopolitical implications. The technological leap represented more than scientific achievement, it was a complete restructuring of human capabilities. Experimental propulsion systems emerged from Horizon's research data. These engines could theoretically manipulate spacetime fabric, creating shortcuts through cosmic distances. What once seemed like science fiction was now becoming practical engineering. Dr. Kim's research team worked around the clock, decoding complex data streams from the ship's computer systems. Each revelation brought more questions than answers. The technology suggested an understanding of universal mechanics that went far beyond current scientific models. Quantum communication arrays demonstrated capabilities that shocked even the most advanced telecommunications experts. These systems could transmit information across light years with zero signal degradation, making current communication technologies look impossibly crude. The crew's medical records revealed another startling detail. Their bodies showed no radiation damage, no muscle degradation, and cellular structures that remained perfectly stable. Something during their mysterious journey had fundamentally altered their biological composition. Global scientific communities watched in a mixture of excitement and apprehension. The technological transformation represented by the Horizon was not incremental, it was revolutionary. Political leaders struggled to understand the implications. How would these technologies reshape global power structures? What would prevent potential misuse? The return of the Horizon had suddenly made every existing technological framework obsolete. Captain Park remained calm during these discussions. He hinted that the technologies they brought back were merely a fraction of what they had encountered. "We are like children who have been shown the universe," he would say, "and now we must learn to understand it." As research continued, one thing became increasingly clear: humanity stood at the threshold of a new technological era. The USS Horizon had not just returned with advanced equipment, it had brought back a completely different understanding of what was possible. The transformation had begun. The alien fleet arrived without warning, a massive formation of warships representing the Galactic Coalition, a collection of advanced civilizations that had long viewed humanity as a primitive, insignificant species. Their intention was clear: investigate and potentially neutralize the technological threat posed by the USS Horizon. Captain Park stood on the bridge, watching the approaching armada with calm determination. Hundreds of alien vessels surrounded the Horizon, their weapon systems charged and ready. Each ship represented technologies that had dominated galactic conflicts for centuries. Massive energy cannons, quantum disruptors, gravitational compression weapons. The alien command transmission came through: human vessel. You will surrender and submit to comprehensive technological examination. Resistance is futile. What happened next would be remembered as the most significant moment in human military history. The Horizon moved with impossible grace. Instead of traditional defensive maneuvers, the ship seemed to flow through space like liquid mercury. Alien weapon systems that fired powerful energy blasts simply passed through holographic projections. The ship's quantum shields absorbed and redirected destructive forces. In less than 12 minutes, the entire alien fleet was neutralized. No massive explosions. No violent destructions. The ships simply stopped functioning. Their complex systems shut down simultaneously, rendered completely inert by technologies they could not comprehend. Galactic communication networks erupted in shock. Humanity had not just defended itself, it had demonstrated technological superiority that completely redefined interstellar power dynamics. Scientific records would later show that the Horizon had used minimal energy to completely disable the attacking fleet. No lives were lost. No physical damage was inflicted. The ship had simply rendered the entire alien armada completely non-functional. Captain Park's message was simple and direct: we come in peace. But we will defend ourselves. The Galactic Coalition's leadership was stunned. Civilizations that had existed for thousands of years suddenly found themselves facing a species they had previously considered irrelevant. Humanity was no longer a footnote in cosmic history, they were a potential dominant force. Intelligence reports suggested that the alien fleet had been confident in their technological superiority. They believed their weapons and strategies would easily overcome human defenses. The complete failure of their attack exposed critical weaknesses in their understanding of technological evolution. Military analysts on Earth began studying the encounter. The Horizon had not just defended itself, it had demonstrated a level of technological mastery that suggested access to knowledge far beyond current understanding. Dr. Hannah Kim's research team worked tirelessly to understand the encounter's implications. The ship's defensive systems had not just blocked attacks, they had completely understood and neutralized them at a fundamental quantum level. Global reactions varied. Some celebrated the demonstration of human potential. Others felt concerned about the potential consequences of such a dramatic technological leap. Diplomatic channels became increasingly complex as alien civilizations tried to understand this sudden shift. The Horizon remained calm. No additional aggressive actions were taken. The ship simply maintained its position, a silent sentinel representing humanity's newfound cosmic potential. Alien diplomatic missions began requesting communication. Their previous attitudes of superiority had been completely shattered. Humanity was no longer a species to be overlooked or controlled. Captain Park understood the profound moment. The encounter was not just a military victory, it was a statement about human potential. The technologies they had acquired suggested that humanity was capable of extraordinary evolutionary leaps. The galactic landscape had changed forever. In a single encounter, humanity had transformed from a minor species to a potential dominant technological force. The message was clear: humanity had arrived on the cosmic stage. And they were ready to be recognized. As communication channels buzzed with speculation and fear, one thing became absolutely certain: nothing would ever be the same again. In the months following the galactic confrontation, Earth transformed at an unprecedented rate. The technologies brought back by the USS Horizon reshaped every aspect of human civilization. Cities began implementing quantum energy systems that made previous power grids look like ancient technology. Space agencies worked frantically to develop new exploration vessels using the Horizon's advanced designs. Prototype ships emerged from research facilities, capable of traversing star systems in weeks instead of decades. The entire concept of space exploration was being rewritten. Captain Park and his crew became global icons. They shared carefully selected insights about their mysterious journey, hinting at a larger cosmic threat that humanity needed to prepare for. Their presentations to world leaders and scientific communities suggested that their transformation was more than just a technological upgrade, it was a necessary evolution. Dr. Hannah Kim led research teams that decoded fragments of the advanced knowledge the crew had acquired.
Each breakthrough raised more questions than answers.
The technologies suggested the existence of civilizations far more advanced than anything humanity had previously imagined.
Global military structures began rapid reorganization. Traditional defense systems became obsolete overnight. New quantum communication networks allowed unprecedented levels of global coordination. Defensive technologies that once seemed like science fiction became practical realities.
The alien civilizations that had previously threatened humanity now watched with a mixture of fear and fascination. The Galactic Coalition's previous confidence had been completely shattered.
Diplomatic channels opened, with alien representatives seeking to understand humanity's sudden technological leap.
Prototype spacecraft incorporating Horizon's technologies demonstrated capabilities that defied previous understanding of physics. Gravitational manipulation, quantum propulsion, and energy generation reached levels that seemed impossible just months earlier. Captain Park remained somewhat mysterious. He spoke of a dormant threat, a cosmic challenge that humanity was now being prepared to face. His presentations suggested that their encounter had been more than just a technological transformation.
Something larger was coming. Medical breakthroughs emerged alongside technological advances. The crew's cellular structures showed remarkable regenerative capabilities. Research suggested potential treatments for diseases that had plagued humanity for generations. Global power structures began to shift. Countries with advanced research capabilities gained unprecedented influence. The traditional geopolitical landscape was being rewritten by technological potential. The horizon itself became a symbol of human potential. Researchers continued to study the ship, discovering new technologies with each passing week. Its systems seemed to adapt and reveal capabilities just when they were most needed. Communication intercepts suggested that alien civilizations were deeply concerned.
Humanity had transformed from a seemingly primitive species to a potential cosmic power in a matter of months. The balance of galactic politics had been completely disrupted.
Dr. Kim's research team discovered something even more profound.
The technologies were not just advanced, they seemed to be preparing humanity for something larger. Hints of a cosmic challenge suggested that their transformation was more than just technological progress.
Captain Park's final public statement carried a cryptic warning: "We are being prepared. Something is coming." The world watched and waited. The USS Horizon had returned. Humanity had been transformed. And nothing would ever be the same again.
Global scientific communities worked to integrate the new technologies.
Space exploration programs accelerated. Defensive capabilities expanded. Humanity stood on the brink of a new cosmic era.
The mysteries remained.
Why had they been chosen? What was the larger threat that seemed to be approaching?
The crew of the Horizon held their secrets close, revealing only fragments of their extraordinary journey. As new ships began to emerge from research facilities, one thing became clear: humanity was no longer a passive species waiting to be discovered. They had become active participants in a cosmic narrative larger than anyone could have imagined.
The new cosmic order had begun.